I lost so many people the other time. I'm quite sorry about it. I'm really, 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 really sorry. Oh, welcome somebody. Welcome big time. Hello. Please drop a chat so I'll know you are here. Drop a chat. Drop a chat for me. I can't see the chats already. Please, if you are the one here, I can't see chats. You can drop me a chat, that would be helpful. I'm sorry, I can't see chats. Oh, goodness me. So people were already here. Oh, Eno, I can see your hands. Good afternoon. Thanks for staying put. My gadgets were not doing greatly the other time. I'm really sorry. I see. I sight you. Welcome on board. AB, you are here. I wish everyone success in the journey. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm sorry my gadget was acting, or maybe I was the one that really did not know what I was doing with the gadgets the other time. So let's just get going. It's I just want us to have an idea of what we are in for when it comes to nurses' salary in New Zealand, so that it won't just be that we just jump into the deep without knowing why we jumped in there. And besides, I think payment is part of the things that is pushing every one of us around. Like we want to have the good money, have it, have it, have it, and be in good control of it and don't allow it to control us. So I believe that's one of the reasons, major reasons, that we are doing all the things we are doing so that we can make the best of lives for ourselves. So I went online, I got some information, and besides the information that I got, I talked with some people who are already in New Zealand so as to have an idea of what they are into, what they are getting from the works they are doing, so that we'll be able to make informed decision. We won't just jump and not having an idea what we are jumping to. That's the essence. Or maybe people that are not going from Nigeria, some people, we are encouraging people try New Zealand too from Nigeria or other parts of the world. Some people are already in the United Kingdom and they are already settled or getting settled. We don't want a situation that people will just leave where they are and they will not know what they are going into, and eventually they will be having the feeling like, oh, why did I even try this? Why did I not just stay where I was before? Why did I leave a beautiful job and coming over to this place that nothing is really happening? So I talked with a few people and I sought their counsel. Besides all those things that are online, because I actually wanted something that is experiential, something tangible, someone who is in it, someone who can give their real the real information, that can say, oh, this is how it is happening to me, such that if you are going, you are not just leaving maybe the best for lesser than the best. So if you eventually make the decision to leave or to go to New Zealand, then you know you are going to something that you know, not leaving the known to unknown, or maybe a more profiting known to a less profitable unknown. So that's the main reason. Now, I'm not going to paste people's pay slips. I'll do a different, like do a video on that. I'm trying not to make it look like we are dissecting a country's payments for another country's payment. I'm just trying to make us see possibilities, the blessings in what we are looking into, not like putting up a debate on, oh, I'm earning more, you are earning lesser, and all that. At the end of the day, I don't think that should be the essence of our reasons for maybe choosing a profession or choosing to stay in a country of our choice. But at least it should be a guiding principle. It should help to put us in the right pathway, right perspective of what we are to be expecting when we start working or when we eventually migrate, if that's where we choose to migrate to. So before this year March, the nurses pay in New Zealand was quite lesser than what I will be saying. So, but now it's been improved on and people are getting much better than what they were getting before. So if you are a band, a registered nurse, like I've explained to us that they have enrolled nurses, they have registered nurses. Their enrolled nurses are like our School of Nursing people who have graduated but have not done degree, or they have not done maybe post-basic programs to push up their academic qualifications. So those guys will be counted or addressed as enrolled nurses. They give them jobs. In fact, I've seen loads of those opportunities everywhere, and they give them job, they help them to relocate, they help them with CAP, those that need competency assessment program, they help them with those things, but their payment is lesser than what a registered nurse will earn. A registered nurse is that person who has done their first degree at least, or who possibly after their first registration like RN, they've gone outside to gain another registration, maybe pediatrics, maybe midwifery, maybe mental health and all that. So those people will be assessed as registered nurse. But if you have just a single qualification, then you will be assessed as an enrolled nurse. So please take note of that. Now, if you fall into that path of an enrolled nurse, if you are in your first year and they are starting with you on step one, these people, they sort of structure your factor your experience into where they place you. Like, I said that some people knew that I said I got a job with them last year. The moment I got that job, the placement they gave me, my friend that is there actually told me that that's the highest placement for nurses in New Zealand, and it's because of experience. If you have had like 8 years of experience, they are going to be putting you at the peak, like the zenith, like not even seeing you. They believe that for you to have gotten all these years and your information, like your verification is good, your good standing is like you have no taint or stains on your license, then they believe you are someone they can trust with that level of practice. So they just put you there straight away without the need to struggle. I know down here, if you come here, some trust whatever your years of experience, wherever you are coming from, they just start you on NHS band 5 spine 1 and you'll be climbing from that level. But these guys straight up factor your years of experience, which I think is a beautiful thing in it. So if you are starting as an enrolled nurse, you are in the step 1, then your annual salary is going to be 61,146 New Zealand dollars per annum, which is just like it's like 35,000 plus UK pounds or Great Britain Great Britain pounds. So it's like 35,000 pounds per annum is their 71 and whatsoever New Zealand dollars per annum. And you keep on moving like that. If you are in step 2, you'll be getting like 63,980. If you move on forward, did I miss a calculation there? You'll be starting like 61,146, which is like 30,000 plus per annum. And UK now is starting on 27,000 pounds per annum for people here. And whatsoever you are coming with, UK, whether you have RN or whether you have School of Nursing or university, you start band 5, except some of those trusts or maybe care homes that will just say, okay, if some care for some NHSs will factor your years of experience into it, but most of them don't. Such that if you've had like 20 years or almost 25 years of experience back at home, you come around, they just start you straight from band 5, the lowest level, which is 27,000 or 28,000 per annum. But these guys, their list for an enrolled nurse is 61,140 something, which is a little big because it's more than 30,000 and is really getting closer to what a band 6 we earn here. If you are a starter on band 6 level, it's very close to that as like you are starting as an enrolled nurse. So for a registered nurse in that category, you have your first degree and you have come to work, or you have drug qualifications and they've assessed you as a registered nurse, but you haven't gathered so many years of experience back at home, maybe you have just a year or 2 years of experience, then you will be starting your salary on 66,570 New Zealand dollars, which is really not bad too. So 66,000 will be taking you to like 33,000 plus UK pounds. And for someone who is a band 6, that's what someone who is a band 6 will start earning. If you just get into that band 6 role, that's what you will start earning. But you will start earning that straight up if you go there, like maybe you've just had 2 years of experience and you're just coming to join them. And I don't think it's really bad. Now let's say you keep moving and we are talking about someone who has accumulated some great number of years of experience. You get to the peak, then, and you are a registered nurse, you have a degree or you have drug qualifications like I've mentioned, then your salary will be like 95,540 New Zealand dollars per annum. We are talking per annum here, so that people will not think it's monthly. No, it's not monthly. And these guys pay twice in a month. So they pay fortnightly. Down in Nigeria, we receive our salaries monthly. In the UK, we receive salaries monthly, except when you do extra. Some people will pay your extra every 2 weeks, some every week, some every month, like that. But these guys, their basic is what I'm talking about, and they take their salaries every 2 weeks. So if you get paid this week on this Friday, then fortnight to come you will be paid. Now I moved forward. You have this list anyway at some point. Then I just moved forward to check on some friends, because there are things that actually take this money. It's not all about earning this money and just thinking, I'm earning big, I'm earning big. There are things we call bills here. If you are around the world there, bills are the things that actually shake many of us. Like, you think you are making the money, but by the time bill starts coming, then you start wondering. So I went forth and I was asking for someone that, okay, how about housing? Housing over there, the person told me that where they are, if you are in 2-bedroom house, not a flat now, 2-bedroom house, you'll be paying 550 New Zealand dollars per week. And when we say you are paying 550 New Zealand dollars per week, it means you'll be paying like 2,200 New Zealand dollars per month. That's a month that is 4 weeks. And I look at it here in the UK, that's like 2,200 New Zealand dollars, and it's like 1,100 pounds. Say there are some places in this UK that you can't get 2-bedroom flats at that amount. There are places that 2-bedroom flats are much higher than that, but there are places too that 2-bedroom flats are maybe lower than that. But the person I am talking about is actually in the city. So she's in like their capital. So definitely, and we all know that houses couldn't have been cheaper, won't be cheaper in the capital than in the remote areas now. So I don't think they are doing badly with rents. From what she told me. Then I went for, because in the UK you pay road tax. If you have cars, you pay road tax. This person told me they don't pay road tax. So remove that one from whatsoever you want to pay. Then I asked, what do you pay for? What do you pay as council tax? Then she told me they pay how much they pay? They pay council tax of 240 New Zealand dollars per annum. That's like 120 pounds per annum as council tax. For the council tax is the money that the government uses to take care of your environment, maybe to clear the bushes, to pack your waste and all that. She said they pay 240 New Zealand dollars per annum. That's 120 pounds. Honestly, I think those guys are really enjoying. So, and bills. Our bills monthly, according to her, is energy bill, according to her, is 300 New Zealand dollars per month, which I really don't think is bad too. Just today, the one that I paid for 3 months in this house too, it was above 900 pounds, so for 3 months. And now this is just like half of what I will pay in 3 months that this person is going to pay. So, and the money they are making is actually more than what I'm making. The money they are making at my level is more than what I am making in this level, and the money they are spending is much lesser than what I am spending. Now, one thing that used to eat people's money is childcare. And this person, I went ahead to ask her. They said, child care, that kids less than 5, their fee is quite expensive. From age 5, child care is free. But if I take my child here now, maybe as they are on holiday and I feel I don't want them to stay at home, and I take them to child care people, me sef, I will know, my body will know how much I go pay. But they say from 5 years, that from 5 years their own child care is free. But less than 5 years, that is expensive according to her. I will have a look at how much she said the child care is. She actually gave me the amounts. Now, I asked about maternity pay, and she said that maternity pay is like the money that the government pay to the people for when you are on maternity leave. So she said it's a bit expensive, like because it's a bit expensive to look after kiddies that are less than 11 years, that people prefer to stay at home till like when their kids are 2 years old. So what they will do is government, they will pay them for 6 months. Out of that 6 months, employer will be paying 1,100 weekly. For me, that I got pregnant and gave birth to my own child, the employer will be paying me 1,100 weekly for 14 weeks. Honestly, if you can save, and if the other spouse is working, I think it will be really convenient to look after children. But after that, anyway, by the time you are going back to work, you have to actually pay for childcare. So childcare is not really really very bad there. So because in 14 weeks you would have earned how much now? You are earning 1,000 per week. That's 14,000 New Zealand dollars. And for 14 weeks, you get 100 on it for 14 weeks. How much is that? 100 in 14 places. That's 1,400. That's like 15,400 for giving birth to the child that the government is helping you to look after. So 1,100 per week, because I was actually thinking the person said 100 New Zealand dollars per month. She said it wasn't per month, it was per week. So I don't think it's really bad. So if you are still in the process of you are still raising your family, you are still making children, I think it's not going to break people's neck if you go, even if you are living from the UK. But their maternity leave you can take as much as 2 years, and you can go back to work too, maybe at 6 months, because at 6 months they cease paying you maternity pay. So that's the difference. In the UK, your employer will pay you till 6 months, government will pay you for 9 months. So when government stops when your employer stops at 6 months, then the government will still continue paying you for the next 3 months. Of course, the money is good, but it's not really it's not meeting so much, but it's better than not having anything. Honestly, it's quite considerate and nice of them. So those are the few things I've been able to gather, such that if it is something you are looking at, you are projecting that you want to do, then I think it is lovely that you give it an effort. And one beautiful thing about it again is, I was told that your child will have free education even till their first year in the university. So it's not like that everywhere. Some places, the moment your child is maybe out of primary school, you start paying some money for their schooling. Some places are actually free too for secondary, but at the uni it's actually not free. But I learned that till the kiddies they are done with their first year in the university, they can still have free education. So let me see if we have questions, so that things will be much more directed, and I will be able to give answers to those questions. Thank you, my team. Questions? Okie dokie. No questions? Thank you, Sister Eno. Thank you for your patience. I can't even thank you enough for your patience, because I don't know how I actually managed the first live whatsoever, and it didn't end pleasantly. Oh, weather. Over there are places that are warm, there are places that are cold, and I've heard that It's like our UK cold season is their warm season, and their warm season is our cold season. DT, well, we've talked a whole lot about their registrations, but their registration is really not bad. I don't know where you want to register from, but if you are in developed world country and have been registered, they would assume that you are maybe accustomed with their own ways of practice. It's not going to be stressful. Getting registered is you getting your documents across to them in time. If your documents get to them in time, your registration could be ready in as little as 3 months. But if you haven't practiced in those developed world countries, you want to come from back home, then you will need to get an eligibility letter for competency assessment program, which is something that takes 6 to 12 months for you to do after you've had, maybe you got an admission with a school. Then you will need to go over there to do that. And I've mentioned consistently that program is actually capital intensive, but it's cheaper than going for masters anywhere around the world. It's very much cheaper, except if you get your masters free of charge. You are not going to pay for it. But unfortunately, most institutions too will not still take you to practice as a registered nurse with masters, except you are registered in that country. So their cap is expensive, which is like 8,000 to 16,000 New Zealand dollars. Of course, in this amount, the government has agreed to refund anyone who, after finishing or completing the cap, the person wants to stay and work with their government for 2 years, they will refund 10,000 New Zealand dollars to the person. Okay? And I learned that houses are quite cheaper now after COVID. So if you want to get into mortgaging, it's easy for you. Before, if you are a resident and not a permanent resident or not a citizen, you can't buy a house. But after COVID, you can buy a house. So if you jump in today, because as a registered nurse or an enrolled nurse that has been recruited, you will jump into being a resident, then you can buy your house and start living in your own house, which I think is not bad. Because if there is anything that gobs money in Oyinbo country, it is housing, rents, bills, energy bills. But I think it's quite bearable with what I've heard. Do I have some other questions, please, so that I can attend to those things as we go along together? Questions? Questions? Eddie, thank you, ma. I want to know if any employers this have not actually taken my time to ask, but I can ask that one and get back to you. But one thing I'm sure of is that I've never heard of anyone who has gone for that cap that has been living on the trees. So one way or the other, why am I thinking that money that people are paying, the accommodation will be inclusive? But I'm not sure. I will find out and get back to you guys on that. Yes, I saw another question popped up, but I really can't see it now. If I can find it. Questions, please. There was a question I was actually trying to look at.
Mom, are you a leader or are you a teacher?
I'm everything. I'm a child of God.
What's wrong? Do you want to sit with Mommy?
Look at Jasper. See Jasper from the room.
Doesn't even want to stay upstairs.
Okay, questions? Are we happy with the little we've been able to talk about? I thought I would be able to make it much more extensive than this. All right. If we have questions, we can ask on the platform, and I'll come back with it. I will do some push up on this too, so that it will be much more elaborate than this. Thank you guys for coming. Sorry, I don't know how I mismanaged those first calls. Thank you very much. Questions, please. We still have 11 people in the house. If you can get the questions people have, if it's something I can quickly deal with, so that before we go, we can check those things out. All right. Nothing's coming forth. All right. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
How mommy can carry you, catch it? Go sit on your seat.